Hey everybody, this is Jesse here at Jesse Lee Strength and Fitness. Welcome back. Okay, I've just wrapped up my first round of the 12-week Garmin Connect program following Jeff Galloway's training program. And I ran a 22:31, which wasn't my lifetime best. My lifetime best was actually last fall running a 22:25. However, this definitely beats my last year's race that I would have ran early in the season. So that being said, I am on a good pace to run a faster 5K after completing this program, which I have a loose goal to try to see if I can get into the low 22s or at least the high 21s. So that being said, I'm not worried about it either way. If I can get a little bit better and stay healthy, that's all I really care about. But if I get whatever. I want a little bit of a nice score to impress the teacher. We've been conditioned to want that. So today was a first work exercise of the program for Coach Amy. There's 3 coaches on the Garmin Connect app, and I chose Coach Amy on this one. I went for a time-specific goal, but it wanted me to do 4 workouts a week, and I'm just not in the position right now where I feel like 4 workouts for a week is really great for me. I feel like 3 workouts a week is really good for me. That way I can kind of continue to lift weights. I don't want to go all in on 4 workouts a week, and that kind of starts to chew into my recovery time, my ability to also focus in on my job, which is training my clients. And yeah, just trying to find balance. So I felt like 3 workouts a week was good. So I just shifted it, made it less of about a run goal and more about a time goal, and more just about running a 5K again. So I'm doing a 5K program and I'm excited about it. This is the first workout and I'm going to recap that for you now. On these Garmin programs, they call the first one a benchmark run because they set you up. They give you a little target for a 5-minute run, and they probably measure that so they can base some kind of algorithmic program on that. So let's get this started. So this one was really simple. I did a 2-minute walk, but actually I did not walk 2 minutes. I walked 1 minute and jogged 1 minute. It's a light jog. I'm feeling like I'm coming off that last plan. And just another recap from the last workout, which was the 5K, I ran that in between 183 and 193 cadence, which is exactly what the program was calling for, but I wasn't monitoring my cadence. I had just got into such a good place knowing that cadence. So knowing that if I was in that 183 to 193, I was going to be in that 705 to 720 section, which was what I ran the 5K in. So understanding your cadence is really important. And that 183 to 193 is a nice place to be if you want to be a little bit of a faster 5K runner or a faster 10K runner. So it was nice. I felt really good about that. It was nice to see those numbers kind of lining up with what a lot of the program. So kudos to Jeff Galloway for dialing in my cadence and getting me into a sweet spot where I can run at a nice pace, but also not get hurt. Yeah, so then a 5-minute run. And so also one thing I'm introducing to my running, which I have been doing a little bit, but now I'm reinforced. Arianne Missimer, the movement paradigm. I saw her at Perform Better in Chicago, and I really loved her awareness of breath and her coaching and cueing of breath, and also basically the massive problem we have worldwide with breathing, how we all are suffering from some kind of movement or some kind of breath dysregulation, which is also dysregulating our nervous system, which is why there's chronic anxiety and depression and things like that. So starting with the breath and starting with some nasal breathing. So today I was really working on nasal breathing while I was running by keeping my mouth closed, my tongue to the roof of my mouth, and just trying to breathe largely through my nose. This was a challenge. However, I did most of the run without doing any mouth breathing, and then I did a few breaths of mouth breathing. So that was kind of interesting. I'm going to try to toy around with, nasal breathing while doing my running and try to work on becoming it's proven to be much more optimal way to breathe. So breathing is for the nose and eating is for the mouth. So I'm trying to fully integrate into be a full-time nasal breather. And that'll just take some practice and some time, but I'm just going to work on that. And that is definitely a project that I'm working on. So if you haven't checked out her work, please check it out. I'll definitely maybe link that in the notes. And on the 2-minute cool down, I just walked. So during this workout, I covered 0.94 miles. So that's for the total workout. 9 minutes, as you can see. So my pace on my 5-minute run was about a 7:39. So I wasn't going too hard, but I also wasn't backing off. And in that 5 minute, I ran 0.65 miles. So all in all, feeling pretty good about it. I decided to go ahead and continue to track these. I'm going to start a whole new program. So another 11 and 12 weeks. So you guys, lots of more 5K programming, a lot of me discussing running, and I hope you're getting something from this. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And this was today's recap of run number 1 of my second Garmin Connect program this season with Coach Amy.